So that's what we have here. We created two dynamic calculated sets. Okay. Calculated sets or sets that are selected via a calculation. Okay. And we have to also specify at what level the calculation must be done, okay, granularity. So, let us examine the condition. So, here is where we apply the condition. So, we create a set, okay, and healthcare per capita, okay, average is less than 1000. So, this is going to select all the records of a given dimension with an average expense of less than 1000. So, this could be an individual record, whether it is less than or equal to 1000, or it could be an aggregation depending upon where you create the set. So, you create the set. Okay, so, now if you go and right click here, you are not going to be able to create a set. Okay, the place where you will create a set is a dimension. You have to select. So, for this dimension, so let us say country, and then we say create a set, then we specify a condition. So, if you selected country and then used healthcare per capita, and if you say sum, then it is going to look at all the records for a given country. Okay, so, we have several years. This is country by year, and it is like 2000 something through 2012. So, like 13 or 14 years. So, it is going to sum all of that. Okay. Or if we say all right, so let us put it as an average. Now, this is going to average all of them. So, it is not going to select only those years where the per capita expense was less than 1000. Some years may be less than 1000, some may be greater than 1000. On the average, it turns out to be less than 1000, then it gets put in to the set. Okay. But if we are really interested at the year level, country and year level, we want to select those country years where the expense was less than 1000 and the mortality rate was less than or equal to, and mortality rate is less than or equal to 1%, then we have to look at country and year, but we do not have a country year dimension. So, we have a dimension for country, we have a dimension for year. So, we had to put the two together into a calculated dimension, so which is what we did first, right. So, this is what we did. So, country, okay, that is the name of the country, right, that is already a text, and then we have the year. So, this year is a calendar value. So, it is going to have a full date, right, January 1st, 2001 and so on. So, we have to strip the year part alone, okay, and then that will not be a string. So, you cannot attach a non-string to a string. So, we have to convert the year to a string, and we did that with the str function, and then we have put together this dimension country year. So, each record will be identified by which country the record is about and for which year. So, now if you create the set from that dimension, right, and then you set up your condition, that the condition will be applied for each unique value of that dimension, which is country year. So, for each country, each year will be looked at and the condition will be applied, and that is what we have here. So, for country year, the condition is per capita. So, here there is only one record for each country year. So, the aggregation, if it is sum or average, both will result the same thing, because there is only one record. So, less than or equal to 1000, that was one set. Then we created a second set once again at that level. So, when you are creating sets, you have to think about at what level of granularity we want the set to be created. Okay, so that's an important consideration. All right, so the next set is for infant mortality. Again, you select infant mortality, and since the average and sum, they both will be the same thing, because country year combination will give you only one record for each combination of country and year. So less than or equal to 1%. So that was the second set. Then we combine the two sets. Okay. So we have set 1 less than or equal to 1,000 per capita expense, and then less than or equal to 1% infant mortality, and we want inner join shared members should be present in both sets. So that was our low expense, low mortality set. So now these two filters that we applied to this visualization, now those filtered records are now in a set for us. Yes.
Can we go over the last set one last time?
The combining?
Yeah.
Okay. So
how do you create that one?
all right. So the way you do that, okay, is you go to one of the existing sets, and then you select create combined set. Okay. Now when you do that, then the set that you started out with is already listed here. So you give a name, and then you select the second set that you want to combine it with, okay, and then select the type of combine you want, okay, and then give a name. Okay. So which is what we did here, and that's what you see here. So when you start out, the first set that you start with for creating combined set will already be listed here, and then you select the second one from here, and then you have it. Okay. So we are doing that type of combining. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so now we can actually remove these two, and in its place we can set this one up, which is what I'm going to do now. So let's duplicate this, and we'll call it 14, right? Okay, so I'm going to remove these two, and in its place move that, okay, and you can either show this as all members, and if you show the filter, you will see all the members listed and the ones selected or checked. Okay. You can do it that way, which is not really very useful. Instead, the usual way is to make it into an in or out set, in which case you get only two options. So you select in. So both results the same, both result in the same thing, okay, except that in the previous one you get all the combinations listed. You really don't want that.
Where did you put to make it an in or out set?
What's that?
How did you make it an in or out set?
So you go and click the down arrow. So these are the two options. So show members in set will list all the members, and you will have check marks only for those members that are in the set, or you select that one. So that will give you in or out.